Welcome to the channel, brothers and sisters. Today we are going to talk about a secret that is over 6,000 years old that helps you to become very, very wealthy. Yes, I'm not talking about a get rich quick scheme, no, but a secret that is over 6,000 years old. If only you can stick with me to the end of this video in less than 10 minutes or thereabout, you'll be able to learn everything about how this secret began to work, who has used it before, how you can use it, and how you can apply it to make success in your own life. No doubt, it is the will of God that you'll be wealthy, but the problem is, do you really know the secret? If we go back to the book of Genesis, you will see when God created man, he created man once, and he said to man, be fruitful, be multiply, and do what? And fill up the whole earth. And what did God do? He only had to create man once. And after he created man once, he gave man the ability to recreate. And eventually, what do we have? More than 6,000 years from the time of creation till now, we now have over 8.2 billion persons in the world. Meaning that that single one seed that God planted in creating Adam and then eventually creating Eve out of Adam has been able to yield fruit more than 8.2 billion times. If we are to actually convert that to money, it simply means that the 1 naira that God actually invested by creating Adam, or maybe 2 naira, Adam and Eve, has been able to grow into 8.2 billion naira without God actually doing any other further thing. That is the secret of wealth that I'm about to explain to you. It is called the power of compounding. I know you might have heard it before, but listen so that you understand how this principle of compounding works. It's not just enough for you to know compounding, but you must listen to the end of the video so you see how it actually works. Remember that if you are made in the image of God, which every one of us we are, you also have the ability to also do what? To get this done. Now let's talk about what is the problem. The problem is the modern tragedy that we all face. Now let's talk about it. Why is it that some of us we are not making money, we are not getting rich easily? Because of the modern tragedy of the bank leak. Now a good number of you might be working, you think, okay, I just have 100,000 naira, I have 80,000 naira, that's what I earn in a month. Yes, even if you're making 100 or 80,000 naira in a month, you can still get rich. Pardon me if you're from any other part of the world, I want to use Nigeria as a case study. Now an average Nigerian can make 80,000 naira to 100,000 naira a month. That's, let's say, the poor of the lowest class in Nigeria who is working. If you're making that amount of money, you can always say to yourself, I can never be rich. But I'm telling you that you are getting it wrong. Yes, you can still actually be rich. Stick to the video and find out how. Now, what happens? Ordinarily, when an average Nigerian makes his monthly salary, he fixes most of his money and then does his expenses. And a few of them remember to make savings for 1 or 2. And when they even make the savings at all, they put it in a commercial regular bank. Now, what's the problem of putting your money in a commercial regular bank like maybe UBA, First Bank, or Unity Bank? When you put your money in those banks, what is the interest rate that comes from putting your money in a bank? Now, what's the problem in having your money in a bank? The annual revenue you get from your money in the bank is about 4 to 5% in Nigerian banks today. Yes. And what does that mean? It simply means that the bank are using your money to make more profit and they are giving you 4 to 5%. Now, you might think that that's a profit, right? That's actually a problem that the teacher that taught you social studies many years ago actually caused to you. Because the teacher told us that we have 3 kinds of accounts, right? We have the current account, we also have the fixed deposit account and the savings account. Now they say in current account you are losing money, you are paying the bank. But in savings account, the bank is paying you. And we all smiled and we grew up with that ideology. And whenever we make money, we put it in a savings account. Now the savings account is paying you 4 to 5% per annum increase, right? But then what your social studies teacher failed to take into consideration is that there is something called inflation. Whether social studies or business studies, whatever. Inflation rate. When inflation rate is greater than the interest rate you're earning in your money, you are actually losing money. Now, if you look at it, the inflation rate in Nigeria has been estimated to be around 20 to 30%. And now the bank is paying you 4% increase in your money. Now, what does that mean? It means that every year you are losing 26% of your purchasing power. That means that money you are keeping in that bank account, commercial bank account, sitting there dormant, is depreciating and not appreciating. You have to open your eyes to understand that. Did you get it? Now, how do we bridge this gap? How do we solve this problem? We want to compound. Remember, that is what God did. He created one thing, planted one seed, and the seed kept on multiplying. How do you multiply your seed? Number one, you must start with having the ability to save. If at all you have money in the bank, I will congratulate you, because it means that you have the ability to do what? To save. That is good, but you'll be saving in the wrong place. You've been planting your seed in the wrong place. Now, I made some research and I checked out some of the fintech companies we have in Nigeria. Now, I'm not advocating for any fintech company. This video is not promoting any fintech company in particular per se, but I've checked out, we have fintech companies like OPay, MoneyPoint, and so many other fintech companies, PalmPay and all the rest. Just like you also have in other parts of the world, you have many other fintech companies. And why am I looking at the fintech companies? They pay you an annual revenue, an annual interest of 15 to 20% of your money. 15 to 20% of your money. Meaning, if you put in 100,000 naira in any of those fintech companies, and at the end of 1 year, that 100,000 naira would have yielded how much? 120,000 naira. That is 20,000 naira extra profit in your pocket. Money you never worked for. That is exactly what the richest man in Babylon was talking about. That you must be able to create a system whereby your money is actually working for you even when you are sleeping. So let's say you're a 50,000, 100,000 naira salary earner in Nigeria, okay? And you want to flip that money and see how you can become a millionaire in 10 years. Yes, whatever we are doing, when we're talking about compounding, we don't just look at the short term. Let's look at the long term. Let's say you're earning 100,000 naira, or maybe even 80,000 naira, right? Now, if you're earning 80,000 naira, and let's believe that you've been making some saving after some years you are working, okay? Let's assume you have maybe 120,000 naira already sitting in different bank accounts, doing nothing but depreciating. Now, how do you solve this problem? Today, as you are seeing this video, go to those banks, pull out that 120,000 naira, and then transfer it to any of these fintech companies that I've actually given you. You have OPay, you have PalmPay, you have PiggyVest, and so many of them. Just check them out. Check out the one that will give you the best annual interest. Move your money to that place. So let's say I move my 120,000 to PalmPay, for example. All right. Now, when I move my 120,000 to PalmPay, out of the 80,000 naira I earn every month, I pay my tithe, of course, 8,000 naira, and maybe a little bit extra because that's kingdom investment. And then after I've paid my tithe, and I remove 20,000 naira from that money and decide to survive with the remaining 52,000 naira, right? And now let's say every month I am diligent enough to put in 20,000 naira added to the extra 120,000 naira that I already have in my PalmPay account. Do you understand it? I pull out my 120,000 naira from Unity Bank, where I have 120,000 naira. I move it to PalmPay, for example, or maybe any other fintech app, and then move it to that place where I'm having 20% annual returns. And then every month I keep adding what? 20,000 naira to it. Is that not simple? Does that look complex? It doesn't. So with this simple analogy, you can become a millionaire. Not just a millionaire, you can make over 10 million naira in 10 years. I will show you. So instead of bugging you with so much mathematics, I asked AI, my artificial intelligence collaborator, to help me run the mathematics. You all have Gemini or maybe ChatGPT on your phone. Now, I asked AI and I said to AI, I asked AI Gemini to run the values for us. Let's look at the math. This isn't just magic, it's a system. If you save 120,000, if you begin with 120,000 naira today, and then every month you're adding 120,000 naira to it consistently for the next 10 years of your life, as you're working for the next 10 years of your life. Now, in 1 year, you will be having 414,400. In 1 year, you'll be having 414,400 naira. In 5 years, you will have 2,828,000. That is 2.8 million naira. In 5 years, you already have it. And this is money that is compounding for you. And you it keeps compounding. Now let's say you leave that money for 10 years. In 10 years you'll be having 10,210,000 naira. 10,210,000 naira. Now you can see how much you have made in 10 years. You are now 10 million naira richer. 10 million naira richer. Does it ring a bell? So it means that while I was doing my 80,000 naira work every month, I was able to save 1 million naira every year. And at the end of 10 years, I have over 10 million naira. Somebody will say, how did you do it? Wisdom is profitable. Wisdom makes you to do things, work smart and not to work the hard way. Now, to further buttress this, let's look at the maths here. In 6 months, if you just invest 120,000 naira and every month you're adding 20,000 naira to it, in 6 months that money will give you 256,200. Your seed has already doubled. In 1 year you have 414,400. In 2 years you already have 777. That is over 777,000. You are approaching your what? Your first million. It is possible to be a millionaire. I'm telling you, it is possible. You can be. And now in 4 years you're already a millionaire. You already have 1.7 million naira rich. The interest is now doing the heavy lifting. In 5 years you have 2.4 million naira, and in 10 years you have 8.8 million naira in your account. And now if you leave that same money for 15 years, you leave it for 15 years, it means that you have 25.6 million naira in 15 years. So how many years do you have to work? At least you can work more than 15 years of your life, and you're able to make 25 million naira from doing an 80,000 naira job in Nigeria after 15 years. I think you're a wealthy man. Yes, that makes you wealthy. So I want to further break this down so you see how much you're earning every month. This is how you'll be able to pay yourself. You know, one of the laws of wealth, according to the richest man in Babylon, you say, pay yourself what? First. Now, in the first year, when you begin to do these savings, it might still look little to you, but it means that every month you'll be earning 6,900 naira. Now, you look at it, it's small, it doesn't look like anything. In 2 years, you are now earning 12,900 naira. Doing nothing every month. In 3 years, you are now paying yourself 20,300 naira doing nothing. And then in 4 years, you'll be paying yourself 29,500 naira. Now let me move to 10 years. In 10 years, you are now paying yourself 150,700 naira doing nothing. You are now your own boss. So instead of just earning 80,000 naira, you've been able to flip that to 80,000 naira to 150,000 naira. If you allow that for the next 15 years, it means that every month you are now paying yourself 462,600 naira. Wow! That's a whole lot of money. So why can't you get rich? It is possible for you to be wealthy. That is why you need to keep following us on this channel. This is the ancient and modern channel. We bring out the principle that God used, apply it to the modern time, and see how we too can benefit from it. That is the power of what? Compounding. Allow your compound interest to compound, and let the compound that comes from the compound interest do what? Keep compounding. Before you know, you will build a compound of wealth. Oh, this is so interesting. Now, before I round up, I've been able to show you how you can make almost 9 million naira in 10 years and over 25 million naira or thereabouts in 15 years, right? Why doing just an 80,000 naira work in Nigeria? Is that not amazing? If you find that amazing, please click the subscription button. Just click it now, like the channel and follow us so that anytime we drop new videos, you'll be part of it. Now, before I round up, I want to remind you a Bible passage that says that the riches of the Gentiles will actually be transferred to the children of the kingdom, right? Now, this power of compounding is what will make those riches of the Gentiles to be transferred to you. I was listening to one of the messages of Ibokun Awosika. You can check out her page and listen to her, follow her, because if you want to compound wealth, you must study. But if you don't have the time to study, follow me and I will keep bringing you latest updates. Now, when you have this over 10 million naira in your account in 10 years, 9.something million naira. Now, let's say somebody wants to travel to America and he comes to you and say, hey, I want to travel out of the country. I have this car, 15 million naira, that's the worth of the car, but can you just give me 5 million naira and take the car? Yes, opportunity has come. What do? You go back to the money you have in your compound interest, pull out 5 million, give it to him, and then do what? Buy the car from him. And in a matter of 1, 2, 3 months, you sell the car, you flip the money. How much do you make? You make extra what? 15 million naira, which you transfer back to your compounding interest money, and now you now have what? 20, yes, 15 million naira. You now have 20 million naira from 9 million naira. Are you not a millionaire? Did you waste your years working? No, that is the power of compounding. Begin today. You might have seen videos like this in time past and then you played away with it, but this one is power. If and only if you can start today and you have everything to start. You may not have the initial 120 to start. If you have 100, start with it. If you have 50, start with it. If you don't have any amount at all, start today and be wise. I pray that God will help you. As you apply these principles, you become wealthy in Jesus' name. Amen. And when you become wealthy, please do not forget to share your testimony, talk about the channel, and tell the people the good news you got from this place. So thank you once again for your time. Stick around. We'll keep bringing you more edifying videos. May God bless you. Some persons will say, 15 years is too long, 10 years is too long. But can I tell you something? 10 years will still come one way or the other. One way or the other, 15 years will still come and pass you by. And you miss this opportunity. Imagine you started 10 years ago, maybe you're 30 years, and you started 10 years ago. You'll be a millionaire by now.